It's certainly a pleasure for me to be sharing the 2021 Journal of the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. And I'm also truly honored to give some insights into my paper, Links Between the 1816 War and Simmons's Plantation. During the latter part of 2020, I was conducting some research into the surname Simmons, Simmons, and that led me into the parish of St. Philip, and it led me to examine the returns of slaves, the property of John Simmons of Simmons's Plantation. It was while analyzing and dissecting the returns of slaves between 1817 and 1834 that I became aware of the presence of a woman named Nanny Grigg. Having completed the genealogy research I was doing, I then began by mid February to pull out data related to Nanny Grigg. And what in fact occurred is that I recognized automatically that I would need to access two other documents. And these documents, one was prepared in January 1818, 1818, and that document is titled Report from a Select Committee of the House of Assembly appointed to inquire into the origin, causes, and progress of the late insurrection in Barbados, 1816. Now, that document was important because within that document, the only woman, enslaved woman, who apparently was involved with the social unrest of 1816 was named Nanny Grigg. Having analyzed and dissected that report, it led me to the 1816 remarks on the insurrection and the registration of slaves in Barbados 1816. And that document was prepared in London by June, July 1816. Now, as a researcher, there was absolutely no way that I could stop there. And I began to dig further and further into both of these documents, analyze them. And, as at times as a researcher, you sort of have to get into the heads of the people who write these things. And I began to do that, and I recognized that there was a tremendous story to be told, and a tremendous piece of history to be brought to the forefront. And by the 28th of April, I had a very a draft outline of what would become the paper that is published within the journal. I encourage you to get hold of a journal and to pull apart the research that I have willingly shared with all readers. Pull it apart, cross check it, and maybe you can answer some of the questions I pose. Maybe you can pose other questions. And of course, maybe you will want to do some research of your own. Who knows, it may become a paper that can be selected for publication in one of the journals. I think that the paper is extremely interesting from the perspective of the records that I um, present within the paper and the sources of the information that I share in the references. Um, really and truly, as we look at the very prevalent slogan, "This is who we are," I think it will force us to ask ourselves, well, who are we? And this will lead us to um, examine various research documents to perhaps understand who we are as a family and who we are as a nation. I am certain that discoveries can be documented for the benefit of both personal and national interest. Certainly, I believe and I know that the paper that is within this journal has tremendous, makes a tremendous contribution to the dialogue that has always been ongoing with regards to the social eruption in Barbados in 1816. Thank you.